Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about why I think NCSoft took away normal mode and replaced it with easy mode. So if we look back on the original release of beginner mode or easy mode in Korea, we had easy mode, normal mode, and hard mode. However, when we get this patch on the NA servers, which is in the coming patch on September 18, we actually don't get normal mode at all. Normal mode is being replaced by easy mode. So in the West, we will only have easy mode and hard mode instead of what Korea has, where it's easy mode, normal mode, and hard mode. And the reason why I think they did this is simple statistics. If you look at the Korea server, most players are playing hard mode. If you're not playing hard mode, then you're playing easy mode. Not many Korean players play normal mode. And the main reason for this is because the skill difference and the gear difference in the two different regions. In the NA server and the EU server, a lot of players are international players. We have a lot of issues that the Korean players don't have. So we have high ping and we have language barriers. A lot of players, especially in the EU, there are groups of people that speak different languages. So it's very difficult to communicate with each other, and thus F8 has kind of just become a pug area where people just want to join a group. We ask for outrageous amounts of DPS, and we mainly just brain dead DPS and blast through everything. And in Korea, it's similar, but because everyone speaks the same language, because everyone speaks Korean there, and there are no ping issues since most of the players that play on the Korean server live in Korea, the DPS standard on the Korean server is much, much higher compared to the DPS standard in the West because of the netcode and all the other issues that we have with the game, but today's video is not going to be covering about that. So circling back to the point on why they removed normal mode, it was simple statistics. They just looked at the percentile of players who played hard mode, the percentile of players that played normal mode, and the players who played easy mode, and they saw, okay, there's less than 2% of the player base playing normal mode, so we should just straight up remove it and replace it with just easy mode and hard mode. That way we don't segmentate the population as much. Unfortunately, by doing that in the West, the main concern that a lot of people are not very happy with, myself included, is that they nerfed the gold rewards. We all knew that if they were going to introduce easy mode or beginner mode, they were going to need to nerf the gold reward or nerf some sort of reward, or else everyone would just do easy mode and not do normal mode. However, the way that I approached it this time was they straight up removed normal mode. So the only way to get decent amount of gold to what we have right now before September 18 would be to play hard mode. And what's even stranger now is hard mode is only available for 4 dungeons, so that is Dreamsong Theater and above. And everything below Dreamsong Theater, so Shadowmoor and below, only has easy mode. So I don't think the Korean dev team really thought this through, because essentially they're nerfing one of the only ways for the player base to farm gold as well as farm materials. Because if we are getting the same reward system as Korea's beginner mode, then we are pretty screwed, because it's going to be very, very difficult to farm up that many moonstone crystals, that many Elysian crystals, and all the materials that we actually need in order to upgrade all our gear. And furthermore, with the gold reductions, it's also going to be much harder for us to farm gold in order to also upgrade and progress our characters. So I think it's just an oversight that NCSoft just didn't pay much attention to and just kind of went through with the changes. But, it's not the end of the world. What I'm hoping is maybe through clear communication, we'll be able to let the community team, such as Cyan, such as Hime, know that, hey, this is kind of an issue, and hopefully that we can make some more changes or more tweaks to make the reward slightly better, to make it more accessible for players to actually farm materials and upgrade their gear. Just make it more streamlined, make it more easier. Obviously, all of this is speculation right now because we haven't actually gotten the patch and actually played through it. Maybe they already thought this through, and maybe the items and the rewards are actually okay. The only downside is we get less gold. So, don't jump the gun yet, and don't go onto forums and especially the subreddit and just go like, oh my gosh, the game is dead, blah, blah, blah. Because there's no need to be that dramatic. What I feel like is we should just give it a chance first. We'll try it out, and the first week we'll know if it was a good change or if it was a bad change or like what needs fixing. We'll identify that very, very quickly. And once we do, then we just need to let Cyan know. We gotta let the community managers know that, hey, we need these changes. It's kind of a big deal. Could you guys please communicate that with the Korean dev team? And then hopefully, if everything works out smoothly, they tell the Korean dev team and we get our changes, or we get some sort of band-aid solution. So, it's not all doom and gloom, and it's not, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world, blah, blah, blah. Like, to be honest, as I said before in my previous video on the patch preview, I am excited to play the game. Obviously, I do have my reservations on certain changes. There are a couple changes here and there where I'm just like, did they really need to do that? One of the big changes was the nerf for the gold of cold storage, because cold storage has a daily lockout. It's like Heaven's Mandate, right? So did they really need to nerf it to 6 gold? I feel like they could have kept cold storage reward at 12 gold because, Heaven's Mandate is 12 gold. So like, why not just keep it the same, right? So I feel like that was kind of a questionable change, but then again, it could be just because of the test server, the numbers were wrong, blah, blah, blah. Hopefully it's just like that. But if they did change it, then, that's a big question mark for me. It's kind of like, well, you lock us out after doing it once anyway, so you can't spam it. So why nerf the gold reward there? And another thing to keep eye of is there has been quite a lot of gold inflation going on. I don't know if it's because of gold farmers or if it's because people are just not buying anything or something, but there has been a lot of gold inflation in the market. A very big indicator is if you look at sacred oils now. Sacred oils used to be like 240, 300 gold, and last time I checked was like last week, and it was hovering at 400 almost. So there has been quite a significant amount of gold inflation. I personally don't play the market, so I don't exactly know the cause or why it's happening. However, it could be another reason why NCSoft is trying to nerf the gold so much, because they do have a lot of experience on the Korean server about gold inflation. You can see on their server, gold is heavily, heavily inflated. Like a bracelet goes for like 14, 15,000 gold easily. Anyway, I still have faith in NC West and NCSoft that they won't totally screw us over. However, it is a two-way street, so I do believe that through communication we can solve a lot of our issues. However, we just need to communicate it in the right way. I personally prefer positivity. Obviously, other people have different ways of expressing their opinion, and there have been a lot of negative comments, a lot of people going like, oh my gosh, the game's gonna die, blah, blah, blah. But personally, I don't find that very helpful. But there have been a few posts on Reddit which have been quite interesting to read. I do lurk on the subreddit once in a while, although there is a lot of salt and a lot of negativity. However, I do read most of the posts that I find interesting there. But yeah, that's really all I wanted to talk about, just to brainstorm and share my thoughts on why they removed normal mode. Do I think it's a mistake? Maybe. It really depends on how they handle easy mode. However, for the newer players, having the introduction of easy mode into the game is definitely a good change for you guys, because it makes the game a lot more accessible and you're able to do a lot more of the quote-unquote harder dungeons or the higher tier dungeons without getting flamed at, without getting a lot of negative comments or negativity, because people are just going to be like, oh, whatever, we'll just hard carry. And a lot of mechanics have been nerfed significantly, so you don't really need to do as much mechanics. However, we'll have to see next week when the servers do come up and when we do have a chance to play around and mess around with it. I'll definitely make another video on my final thoughts regarding the changes and maybe several possible solutions on how to remedy any problems or any challenges that we face. But yeah, Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about. Hopefully this video was a little bit eye-opening for you guys, or at least entertaining. If it was, I would appreciate a subscribe, or if you want to go that extra mile, please consider becoming a member. Speaking about members, I'd like to thank Toots McGee, Solar Hero, Lina Ren, SD Sin 2, Dante Sama, and Key for becoming members and supporting my channel. And as always, thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Bye.
What can I say except you're welcome?